Hey, we are live. What is going on, people? It's your boy Kevin Yee. Let's see. Is my speaker on? Yep, everything's going well. Yeah. So, anyways, if you're new to the series, every single week I actually check in with you guys and see how y'all are doing and all that. And it's a chance for me to just connect with y'all. Recently this week, I'm not gonna lie, been having pretty. I don't know. Even the last few weeks have been a little rough for me, honestly. Just been dealing with like a lot of burnout, and this is like I would say this is like really legit burnout. It's probably been I can't remember a time where I was this like incapacitated, where I'm sleeping pretty much all the time and stuff like that. My therapist says like, hey, you're showing signs of like depression and stuff, but honestly, like within this last week, I've launched quite a bit. I did the whole kick-ass investing launch. That was going pretty well for the most part. I gotta check up on the campaign and reply to a lot of emails, but even in terms of high ticket sales and stuff, I haven't been wanting to jump on the phone with anyone or anything like that. Not really in the mood. I've been kind of forcing myself to, but planning to go to New York probably relatively soon. Just take a little trip off, just clear my brain, and then I'm taking most of the week off too. And I'm even getting pimples right now too, my man. So it's all good. We got Rahul in the house. Yo, what's good, bro? What's Gucci, my man? Speaking about videos and stuff, I haven't really uploaded this like this week. I have a few interesting videos. I'm wrapping up the freestyle fire journal as well because we got some bigger projects on the line. If I were to show you my back end really quick, I'm not sure if you guys can see. Let's go over here. If I were to show you the back end, we've uploaded a few more videos. We have a lot more videos on the back end too as well. It's probably still loading right now, but you can tell like on the back end we have some freestyle fire journal videos. It'll be the last one just because I want to focus more on quality. We also have a day in the life of a high ticket closer. If you guys are interested in kind of like the life I live, the digital nomad life at the moment, we have that video, which Paul Tran and all that, and me and Brian, we all jump on a call. I was hoping to get it out this week, but we had some editing issues, and my editor was also having a bit of uh, currently like a bit of internet issues on his end, so had to delay that, and we had to push for monetization. So I'm slowly transitioning my channel to a point where I just shoot content and just have fire content come out, and I can just really focus on the content while he focuses on the back end SEO and all that, which takes up honestly shooting the video is probably the easiest part. Really, the back end SEO, thumbnails, and all that sort of stuff takes the most amount of time. Surprisingly, because my editor was like, "Damn, this takes a lot of time." I was like, "Damn straight it does. If you do it right, it takes a lot of time, but if you do it right, then your videos grow over time and you get more views over time. Although the initial views aren't as high, I would say as well. So Mudda Sexly says the Rahul. What's up? And you guys, by the way, thank you for that like. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure to drop a like. Shoot a question, man. Shoot a question. Really, this time is just for me to serve unconditionally, no agenda or anything like that, and just connect with y'all too. So while drinking my grape flavored Zevia, by the way, I pick up at Whole Foods and stuff. So I definitely gotta say, the grape Zevia is the most bombest one out of all the Zevias. This one's the most bomb. So yeah, that's the flavor that I'm liking right now. But that's kind of what's been happening on my end. Also building out some cool guides and some cool products on the back end too, for Refugee Hustle. You're going to be seeing some minor changes to or a lot of changes. I don't really like how the whole site is laid out at the moment, so I'm building all that out. Going to be building a few products, both free and paid as well, for Refugee Hustle. I just feel like it's about time, just because I want to. I really want to help you. Like somebody asked me, like, "Hey, Kevin, what's your vision with Refugee Hustle?" And I was like, honestly, like at the current moment, my current mission is really helping people as like 1,000 people, because there's that saying, the 1,000 true fans, and I want to transition 1,000 people into digital remote life as well. And so it's really changed my life in terms of the options I've had. Like currently, I'm still in Boston. If you can't tell by my background, this is like my old room and stuff like that. I don't really like the setup, but gotta make do with what you gotta do. You gotta make do with what you got sometimes as well. And so let me zoom in too so I can be a little closer and get some nice bokeh effect. But yes, that's currently everything that's on the table for me at the moment. In the middle of transitioning over to a new client more recently this week. You know what's really crazy? More recently, everything's been happening all at once as well. And it's been, I think that's where kind of like the overwhelm is coming. Like it's an abundance of opportunities coming in my life at the moment. And it's been that, I think that's been kind of like, it's a lot of decision making. Should I do this versus that, cost benefit consistently all the time? And just really, I haven't had a lot of time to just like sit back, digest, or relax too much. And that's my fault in terms of not having a good routine for that. So going forward, I'm going to have a much better routine. I'm actually taking on an additional regular therapy. I'm taking on, I'm doing this biohacking, neuroscience, like biohacking, like high performance program that my friend who's also a pharmacist is actually offering. So I'm good doing that. I have a, I'm gonna have. I'm thinking about bringing on a coach in terms of a business coach as well, just to really focus with the execution of my certain products as well. Some might pertain to you, some might not. But I'm trying to create like some really solid programs going forward. And then also there's that. I'm also thinking about, or I'm actually gonna go through with it in terms of hypnotherapy. I'm planning to do hypnotherapy again, so that was very helpful at the time as well. Seton says, "Good evening. What's going on, my brother?" And by the way, for those other 9 people who haven't smashed the like button, make sure to smash the like button and drop some questions in the chat as well. So let's see. Dennis asks, "Hey Kevin, what's been your main online stream of income? Are you working online on a full-time basis?" Yeah. So in terms of online, I do something called high ticket sales, or basically online sales, pretty much, right? It's not. It's very. We don't do. I don't do any outbound. It's all inbound based. I do. Basically, people book an appointment with me. We do a consultative type of sales type of process. Pretty chill. Pretty. It gets people a lot of results too, and that's what I've been doing for the most part. And that's my main source of income. So I serve client. I have clients, right? I used to have an agent, a full blown agency, but I would say more so these days I'm freelancing. Although I could start an agency if I really wanted to, but it's just like a lot of. I'm not saying it's a lot of work. Anything is a lot of work, but in terms of the type of work I want to be doing, I want to focus on less like fulfillment and more like and more creating digital assets as well. And so I have that as one source of income. Another stream of income are my previous commissions as well. I have one client who pays me on a continuous basis. I helped him secure a client, and he's really happy with his client. Almost this client actually almost brought him to past the 6 figure mark from a six easily from a 6 figure agency close to a 7 figure agency at this point. So he's one of my really close friends. Both of them are actually really great friends. And so I connected them, and the agency sends me a kickback for that. And then I also have my YouTube channel, which has been doing really well. We're doing about 700 per month through the YouTube through AdSense alone. And then I have back end affiliates through Amazon affiliates and stuff like that, and old affiliate links, even shaving links and stuff like that. So I've dived into everything. So yeah, I have income coming through all those different things. But and then I also have kick-ass investing, which is starting to roll in as well. We made a sale pretty recently, so I'm just trying to optimize that funnel and optimize experience for the user base to look at kick-ass investing. So I gotta pump out some content on the kick-ass investing channel too. So that's pretty much my main income streams. I mean, we could talk about long-term like investments too, but at the moment, not doing that. Not like I wouldn't really include that because that doesn't really contribute to cash flow, right? And once you start looking at everything like cash flow basis, you start asking questions like, hey, how much does it cost to sustain the lifestyle that I want, right? And then basically it changes your view because you can actually support your ideal lifestyle and have a semi-retired life based off all that as well. So that's kind of like the breakdown of everything at the moment that I can think of. If you guys have any particular questions about that, please let me know as well. How Lisa asked, how is Cantonese going? Well, interesting enough, I recently bought a I'll probably go review it on my channel, but I bought a Cheetah Talk because there's sometimes certain words I forget, right? And basically it record I can speak into it. It'll just like pop out what I'm trying to say, because problem with Cantonese for me is like my vocabulary isn't the best. And in terms of Cantonese practice, one of the things I haven't been very good at is blocking out time. Usually at night, what I like to do is I like to go into Boston, the city I'm in right now, and just play my lessons, right? I usually bang out 5 lessons, but I haven't been doing that for the last week or two. So my Cantonese training hasn't been going as fast as possible. So I really got to schedule a more disciplined schedule with that. Thank you for asking, Lisa, by the way. Uh, let's see. Somebody's asking what happened to your hair. Why did you cut it? You look so hot with your hair. What happened? Well, if I tilt my head down, you can see my receding hairline. And basically, I was balding, and so I was just like, "Fuck it," just gotta shave it off and go. Just embrace it. I think it happens to a lot of males, so I think that's one of the things, man. When it's going, you just gotta get rid of it. So don't try to keep it anymore. Like, we all get older, shit happens, so not the end of the world. Um, how much how much study have you done on ketamine? Trust me, I don't need any brush up to swear at people, call people like, oh, my mom's in the other room. I can't really say too much loud shit, but you know, call them some bad names. What I'm looking at is to like really speak on a more conversational level. Be able to express my thoughts and ask questions. Like, I can answer stuff, but like, I'm not super fluent sometimes, or sometimes things just go over my head because I haven't been watching too much TVB and all that sort of stuff too. So, pretty pretty funny, Haga. I don't think you really need to study too much for Chinese profanity. Although I use this stick to translate a lot, and it was very very interesting because it would translate all the swears pretty well for the most part, right? But there's certain like, for obviously for any official type of thing, there's a lot of slangs type of stuff that you don't get those nuances, and that's where the people ask when I shot that Cantonese video, that's where the people aspect really comes in, right? The people aspect, you definitely need that. Cece asks, "How are you doing?" Um, for the most part, like I said earlier in the stream, if you haven't caught up in the beginning, I've been really really burnt out. I've been pretty much lying in bed for like a long ass time. My therapist actually thought I was showing signs of depression and stuff too, or depressive symptoms as well. And just recently, it's just like everything's kind of hit me all at once, where my mom's situation kind of compounded and stuff like that. She's okay, but it's just been a huge toll on myself, on my mental health. Being in quarantine has kind of taken a toll on me. Launching Kick-Ass Investing has taken a toll on me. Taking sales calls has been taking a toll on me, and even training up a new back end team for my YouTube channel has been taking a toll on me too. So it's the life I chose, I guess. I'm like really happy of what I do every single day, but I also know that I've been through a lot, and I think it's just really time to rest. I've been actually going to acupuncturist pretty recently. She did some major cupping. I have I have a massage session like later this week, and life is pretty good. And a Cairo session. Planning to take a trip to New York and stuff. Might vlog it. I actually bought a what's that called? I bought a new camera to kind of vlog the trip, but I might use the OG camera. Honestly, I'm not liking the new camera a lot. I bought one of these. Let me show you guys. I was going to do a review on it, and it's not a bad camera. It's actually a really great camera, but it's this Osmo, DJI Osmo and stuff. And let me open it. Probably most likely I'm going to return it, I think, after this. But it's like this camera. So a lot of the major YouTube channels use it. It's very small. It fits in my hand, but I don't really use it that much. So honestly, like I've barely picked it up since I've been here, and since I already have a vlogging camera, and I love it because there's a built-in ND filter in my G7X Mark II. It's good enough. Honestly, I don't really need any more cameras as well or anything like that. Let's see. Um, Alex Johnson says no one seems like no one's making fun of Michael Jackson for wearing a mask in 2020. So funny. Somebody's asking me why didn't your mom teach you Cantonese? I used to speak fluent Toisan back in the day. I used to be in Chinese school, but just like a lot of things, like if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, so that's kind of like what's happened as well. Rohan says Ben Shapiro leaving LA for Nashville. Any thoughts? No thoughts about it. I don't really follow Ben Shapiro that much. Not because I don't like his content or anything. I just see him on JRE, but I don't really no thoughts about that. I mean, a lot of people are starting to leave LA for a good reason because it's so congested. It's you're gonna see this max. Already seeing the mass exodus out of California. I love California. Don't get me wrong. I love the weather. I love the jujitsu out there. But honestly, taxes are a bitch, and so it might make sense. Honestly, living in somewhere like Vegas and flying into LA or something like that. That probably makes a lot of sense as well. So yeah. By the way, for those 16 people who haven't, make sure to smash the like button as well. Transitioning from pharmacy to closing, did you have any anxiety or doubts? Of course, like I was talking to my good friend because one of my friends, we transitioned at the same time. He's the one that's actually offering the the neurotherapy type of stuff for me. Interesting stuff. I mean, I'll let you guys know how it is, and I'll probably get him on the channel if it's really solid and stuff like that. But in terms of anxiety or doubts, all the time, like all the time, and it was really tough because there's a level of uncertainty, and you have to believe in yourself and really having the confidence to dive into something full time, like that is totally different out of your element, that something scares you, is not an easy fact. It's not an easy decision, but sometimes you just gotta trust in yourself and just really make that commitment. I told myself, like, dude, um, make it happen or seppuku, right? Like, you're gonna hear me use the word seppuku a lot, and what it basically is, it's a Japanese process or uh for disembowelment. When you dishonor, like you disembowel yourself. But to me, going back to pharmacy was like seppuku for me, man. Just killed me creatively, killed my spirit, killed everything. And it got to a point where it just was not worth it anymore. It really was not worth it anymore for me. And I know I'm not alone, and a lot of other people feel the same way. I mean, the truth is, the truth is, when you're not building up a skill, when you're not, because the seed was planted a long time ago. It's not like I up and left suddenly, right? There was a process behind everything. I was learning digital marketing a long time ago. And so when it made the transition, it was just very, not easy, but it made it a lot easier as well. So there was that. Rohan asks, do you have to find leads as a high ticket closer, or are you given leads based off your employer? It's based off your client. So high ticket sales is inbound, right? We don't like appointment settings, usually outbound, try and get an appointment. Very rarely are you going to close like on a outbound call, right? Usually it's to book a next meeting or book an appointment. So that's why they call it appointment booking or appointment setting as well. But as a high ticket sales, it's all inbound sales, by the way. So um, yeah, and honestly, the word high ticket sales is kind of stupid, honestly, because like high ticket, what's considered high ticket, right? But that's just the term used in the industry as well, right? Made $5,000 on Amazon affiliates. That's great, my man. That's pretty crazy because you would have to do quite a bit of volume for Amazon affiliates because they don't pay that much. Pay that much as well. Sutton says a lot of people are leaving LA and I'm not surprised except for Casey Neistat. Lol. Yeah, dude, like seriously, a lot of people are leaving LA. Joe Rogan left LA. A lot of people left LA as well. So yeah. But in terms of leaving LA, we're going to see a lot more of it. So it's not the end. A lot more people are leaving. Even people like Bart, like some of the JK people, they've talked about it openly about wanting to leave the area too. And that's a point. That's the purpose of like downsizing too. Like I think the real like if you bought a home and stuff and you're seeing all this crazy shit happen in LA, it's a lot harder to move, right? And so really that's why I really talk about digital nomad life, where you can just like move wherever you want for the most part. It's not as hard logistically as well. T456 says, how hard is pharmacy school? I mean, it really depends which pharmacy school you're going. Every school is different. I don't know you or know anything. It's like it's a hard question for me to answer. T456, right? I've taken all organic. Uh, you work so hard to get that Pharm D and then you quit, but why, Kevin? Well, here's the thing, right? People think like once you have the Pharm D, like your life is all dandy and shit, but honestly, your life changes very, very little. Yes, you have more income initially, but then there comes a point where you're just unhappy. And honestly, with being, you got to prioritize being happy first. It bleeds into everything else. Think about it. It affects your health, it affects your wealth because it caps you at a certain point, and then also your relationships. It takes a toll on your relationships, and it was really happening to me at that point, right? And I'm the one that has to live with the decision, right? It's not like you essentially keep all the skills that you learned as a pharmacist. Like when I talk about skills, I'm not talking about clinical skills. Yes, I mean, yes, I still remember how to do sub Q, IM, all that sort of stuff, right? But in terms of when I say skills, I'm talking about the soft skills that you learn, the leadership skills that you learn, and applying it to a different area. And it's not like a zero sum game where it's just like, oh, you lose everything once you lose your PharmD. No, you build these experiences, you build these connections while in pharmacy. You would not believe like how many of the, don't get me wrong, I'm very, very grateful for pharmacy, but there was a lot of carryover in terms of professionalism and stuff that I just instinctually had, even when I was learning how to close. Like, how do I build trust with people? How do I take people through a process where they feel comfortable, right? Talking about everything. How do I set expectations? How do I do all these things that I was already doing in pharmacy school as well? So as in the pharmacy, So it's not, you don't lose everything, right? And in short, it's just because I was happier. You should start an Asian parents podcast. Maybe I'm going to talk a little bit about more of my Asian upbringing, guys. I'll tell you this, more recently, it's been coming up in my therapy sessions, and it's been pretty interesting stuff. I don't think I would need to start an Asian parents like podcast, right? But definitely I want to have more of these open discussions about Asian parents and what it's like growing up Asian, and probably like some of the things that keep us from, that are struggles for me in terms of being a trying to dive into the entrepreneur world, and or diving into entrepreneur world and realizing like things like confidence, self-confidence getting in the way, and battling that as well. And so I've actually reached out to a lot of top level like business owners and stuff, and I'm gonna be having the Refugee Hustle podcast. I might just call it the Kevin Yee podcast or something like that, and just make everything simple. I might do a rebranding of everything. It just might make it so much fucking easier, honestly. Not quite sure yet. I gotta think about it, but yes, I'm basically starting my interviews again and interviewing really interesting people who have kind of stumbled over that. Like kind of like figure that aspect out. By the way, for those 9 people who haven't, make sure to smash the like button and drop a comment if you haven't already. I'm going through them one by one. How hard is it for the pharmacy school to stay open? It's really interesting. We're noticing increased admissions across the board as well. I mean, that's what people are saying. I don't have any facts to back that up, but I should actually reach out to my academia friend. He's a really good friend, and he actually works in academia. He's a professor, I think, as well. And yeah, I should probably reach out to him and see how things are with pharmacy schools, but it's not looking too hot as well. But that's why like a lot of these pharmacy schools, but they have other healthcare programs too, so they're probably, I mean, they're gonna win either way. But I think pharmacy is on its downturn. Hagao says RX working conditions are pretty ass. Yes, Hagao. Most of the people who, I mean, and I'm speaking from the community side as well, right? I obviously don't know what it's like in the hospital setting. I mean, when I did my rotations in the hospital, a lot of people seem content. They weren't super thrilled. I have a few friends that love it currently at the moment. but there's a little bit of that emptiness that I sense in a lot of these my friends too. So, um, yeah, it's like, dude, you got this one life. Why not live your full potential, what you're meant to live, And sometimes here's the thing, right? Like I read it in 50 Cent's book. I read it in The Compassionate Samurai. It's all about living your essential truth, right? Like aligning with your truth, knowing that deep down inside that you're capable of something so much more and living that out. And for me, that's something I want to do. I don't want to live with regret. And you hear people talk about living with regret, and we don't really understand as young ass people, but it's something that we only understand as we get older too. So yeah. Uh, Annotate Pelosi. What's the fastest way to become a millionaire as a pharmacist? I don't think you need to be a pharmacist to become a millionaire. I think they're pretty mutually exclusive. If you're thinking about the fastest way to become a millionaire, I don't really know. You probably shouldn't ask me because I'm not a millionaire quite yet. But the plan is, I think based off, depends. If you're an OG pharmacist and you're bringing in plenty of cash flow, invest into another business. I think that would be invest into a cash flow business to stabilize, and then invest into high yield investments too. I mean, there's one good thing about the FIRE movement where that's what people are doing. They're just saving up all their money, reinvesting it, and investing into assets as well. So regardless, you got to reinvest into yourself. That's the quickest way, right? But in terms of as a pharmacist, I wouldn't say that's the quickest way, especially with pay rates going like here. How's High Roast, Alex Becker? High Roast never got back to me, guys. So I'm not quite sure. That probably is off the table at the moment. But I got pitched 3 other opportunities this week. So we're gonna see how they go. I don't know what the offers are. So some of the things that I really look for are obviously income potential through the offers, because if I'm exchanging time as well, that's really really important to me. Has to be something that I feel very strongly about as well. Like meaning I see the potential with it where it could really impact businesses, people's lives as well. It has to stay within integrity. And 3, it has to be a really kick-ass environment, like not a super reactive environment where, you know, we're not making stupid business moves. I mean, some of my clients right now, they're on the younger side, so they're very reactive, and it's just like they consistently make these bad business decisions in terms of everything, right? It's different. I'm not saying it's good or bad, right? But I'm starting to see the ship tanking at the moment as well. What's the biggest deal that you've closed? Probably like 15K, I would say at the moment. 15K deals. So maybe 16, something like that. But we do them like pretty regularly as well. So it's not like, honestly, the higher ticket deals are so much easier to close than the smaller ticket deals, believe it or not, because when people are willing to put their money where their mouth is, they typically know what they want, and as long as you can speak on top of them. But like it depends what kind of what the offer is too, right? As well. So when you target mass market, the problem is like asking for 15K is going to be very very difficult. But when you go very specific, you have a current avatar, like existing business owner who is trying to expand into a different market. They have real pain, they have real goals, they want to go aggressive. Bam, those are the 15K deals. Normally they're not average Joe plumber who wants to get rich quick and stuff like that. So yeah. Rabash Patel would say, I would live as cheap and earn as much as possible through multiple income streams. It doesn't happen overnight. Exactly, Alex. Yeah, I know we spoke on a one-on-one basis, but yeah, I mean, that's why I keep my expenses low, super, super low. My rent's like $600 per month, and I'm always expanding more income streams as well and planting these seeds where they'll grow over time. And it's not only in terms of income streams, business ideas too. It's really also the people aspect, right? Really investing in the right people, like building relationships with the right people, because you just never know all the doors it might open. I honestly offered this multimillionaire. He's a very experienced guy, And I was like, hey, dude, what I want to do is get like, let's edit. Like, I'm more than happy to use my team to edit like 10 of your podcast series, man. Like, I'll do all the editing. Like, all we need to do is just speak, and I'll just handle the rest, and we'll get that shit out. How's that sound? He was like, man, I'm kind of busy at the moment, but that sounds really good. I was like, hey, offers on the table. Like, let me know, and then we can go from there. I just want to add value, and it's like that's how you build value with people, right? You just give shit out, and don't expect anything. I can't expect a single thing, but I just know if you pay it forward, something good always happens. It always happens. Like, good things always happen when you pay things forward, right? And that's why, like, for me, I've been struggling so much for Refugee Hustle on my brand in terms of like selling shit, right? Because I want to offer really kick-ass shit, right? And that's why with kick-ass investing, I offer like a free course, like a legit free course that's helping people, and just constantly refining that as well going forward. So yeah. Michael Chepo says, are 0 to 6 pharmacy programs better than 2 to 4? It doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, your license at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. To be honest with you, it's all on the individual. What you want is what you want. Your chat is on fire, bro. Bob says, "What's up, my homie Kevin Yee and the anti-farm D, not anti-farm D. It's been a while. How about that -3 BLS growth in pharmacy, which in reality is -20% because it doesn't include COVID data. When's that vid coming out? Shooting for this Thursday. I have everything like scheduled and stuff. Just need to do a final revision because I didn't edit the video. My editor did. So just doing those last minute touches as well. I think you guys are going to appreciate that video because me, Brian, and everyone, we did a really good job at scaring the shit out of people going into pharmacy, which is a good thing, honestly, right? It'll prevent saturation, make sure that the right people get into pharmacy if they still want to do it for some reason. But also, we dropped some solid gems on how to kind of differentiate yourself or what to do if you're already in pharmacy, right? I mean, let's be honest. You're in your last year of pharmacy. What are the chances that you're gonna drop out? Not too high. Probably. Like, I wouldn't expect that, right? So there's that. Do you sell high ticket insurance contracts? No. I've never done that, but I probably could if I really wanted to. But I wouldn't call myself a specialist in that as well. Why you yelling, Bob? Says Seton. How's jujitsu, brother? Jujitsu's been all right. Honestly, it's been the hardest part is finding a place to train at. So I've been using my brother's kung fu school to train, and I've been grabbing like 1 or 2 people just doing the 10 planet warm ups. But the hardest part is finding really good training partners, right? Like people who are committed. I want to train 5 times a week, man. But honestly, for myself, I've only been training once or twice a week because I have very flaky partners. And that's the thing I miss about 10 Planet back in LA is just because I can always count on my training partners. And I'm learning so much by teaching. It's really, really great as well. So I can just watch a 10 Planet video and just like do the flow. It's pretty crazy. And it makes me really appreciate how much I've actually learned over the years too, and I'm not as bad as I think I am. But I do miss jujitsu a lot. Just been focusing on doing the warm ups, and I don't really have really great opponents at the moment because they're all super, super newbie. But I'm just trying to teach them as well how to flow and how to do 10 planet warm ups. Actually, it was crazy. I taught someone how to do a spiral guard and reverse de la Hiva into spiral guard into crab. Yeah, it's like crab ride and stuff. It's pretty freaking crazy. Like what I did. I might post on Instagram or something like that too. Let's see. We should roll one day. I'm a 2-degree blue belt. That's awesome. Let's do that, my brother. Have I ever trained in Hawaii? No, I have not. As well. Kevin, are you in SF? Nope. I am in Boston right now. Parents' reaction you doing to switching from Farm D. uh Parents' reaction, I mean, my dad was actually very supportive as well. I mean, he didn't really see me go through that transition. I talked about it. It was like at the very beginning, right? And I was like, I'm thinking about not going back to pharmacy. My dad was on his deathbed and he was just like, let me switch the comment, by the way, to Jake J. yeah, basically he was very supportive. I mean, he was like, yeah, just don't do anything. Like I'm honestly on my like I don't know if I'm gonna make it out, but like I support your decision. You'll figure things out and stuff. So that was a real big factor for me of in terms of moving on. My mom's always been very supportive too. She knew how hard it was. I mean, your parents know how hard it is. Like when you don't come back for any vacations or any holidays or anything like that, it's depressing, right? Because it's just the clock is ticking down. But even at this moment, I'm spending time with my mom and stuff, and she's appreciative of it. And it's just like you can't do that shit if you're in the pharmacy, right? And it's like you have more control over your life. So they were pretty supportive, by the way. By the way, for those 12 people who haven't already, make sure to drop a like and drop a comment too. Just want more engagement and stuff like that. So Clash Clan says, "Where did you go for your bachelor's, master's degree, and major for each?" I didn't do a master's. I did a doctorate at MCPHS. I did a bachelor's at Worcester Polytech in Massachusetts. So that's where I went as well. Um, AZ says stock thoughts on stock market. You can never talk about it these days. That's because I these days I mean I do look at like top gainers and stuff like that, but I haven't been really day trading too much honestly, or look at the market in general. I don't do too much analysis honestly. I haven't done too much analysis in a while, but now that I'm creating content again, I pretty much have to look at the market going forward. In terms of my thoughts about the stock market, I really haven't checked since the last time we spoke about it, AZ. So probably need to. I know that that there's been high volatility with because my friend is actually stock trading at the moment. What was it? Stock ticker. Just give me a second. There's quite a big volatility with like Boeing and stuff as well. So my friends made some pretty decent day trades on that, but that's like a pretty big stock as well. Um, would I ever go to Haas or Marshall for undergrad business? Probably should not ask me because I didn't go to undergrad for business. If you're a millionaire, would you dress like you have money or wear plain clothes? I wear plain clothes to avoid getting robbed. To be honest, honestly, like for me, I wouldn't. I'm not into the whole suits and shit. I mean, I know Dan Pena always talks about, hey, wear the fucking suits and shit. But unless you're going to a big meeting or something like that, I really don't see the purpose for it. And I think that's important. Like living an intentional life. For me, I want to look like business cash. You know, that's like the best, right? But honestly, since I live a pretty, I want to say like pretty active lifestyle where I want to be out and about. Like I'm really loving the whole athleisure type of look too, or like as well. So I probably just wear regular clothes. Honestly, I think most people wear regular clothes unless they have to be somewhere. You know, that's something. But it feels really good wearing a suit. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel good. But like if you're gonna go wear a suit and then go into the drive through McDonald's, man, like dude, it's kind of weird. But people do treat you a little differently as well if you do that. What do you think of USC PharmD school, and did you apply? Did you get in? If so, why not go there? Uh, well, I didn't apply, but I precepted there quite a bit. In terms of USC, it's a great program, but it's very expensive. At the end of the day, PharmD is a PharmD, so it really depends on applicant. So that's my take on it. I don't look at the school is not going to make or break you guys at the end of the day. Like if you asked about a certain school, the school's not going to make or break you. Like it's what you do with your it's what you do outside of school that really determines your success as well in terms of relationships and all that. Like you're putting way too much emphasis on the school. Do you think it's better to put a pause on investing and save as cash since there's a future market is predicted to go even lower? I'm basing on recent politics. Um, so like if you don't know what you're doing, I say dollar cost average your money in. Just invest unconditionally no matter what. You'll get the best price and not have to worry about that. But if you are more speculative and you want to double down when the market's down, sure. We're due for a correction. Yeah, you should probably, if you want, you can stash up some money. But think about it like this: if you miss the timing on that, you are screwing yourself over. So that's the trade-off, guys. So as well. Do you consider yourself well off? Or are you living on a budget to make ends meet? I consider myself, I would say super well off. I would say kind of both, honestly. There's some weeks where I make a shit ton of money, right? And then there's some weeks I make a shit ton of barely any fucking money from closing and stuff. So there's a lot of volatility, and a lot of people can't handle that. In terms of myself, I live both things. Like I love the lifestyle that I have. I have everything that I want. I have like the only thing that makes me happy is like I spend my money on books, spend my money on massages, right? But I don't like really invest. Like that's my liabilities, and you can argue liabilities for those type of things, but for the most part, that's what I spend most of my money on. I do buy things like, oh, I bought this new keyboard too, right? That tech lead recommended it as well, right? And those have been kind of game changers as well. But I don't really buy that much shit, to be honest with you. My expenses are relatively low, as well. So, but I have the lifestyle that I want. There's nothing I can really much more I can ask for, right? But doesn't stop me from wanting more as well, Dennis. I'm a high school senior and really into pharmacy. Should I reconsider or keep on focusing on pharmacy? Watch my video, Michael. If like I think that video, why pharmacy is not a good career anymore. Watch near the end of it. I explain all that as well. So take a look at that, Michael. Okay. CC depends on the person. Get your 3 to 6 living expenses cash first. The market is a mechanism of transferring wealth from impatient people to patient people over the long term. That is right. Um, all right. So Michael says, I'm having a midlife crisis. Is there any reason why, I should pursue pharmacy? Well, that's a very loaded question. I don't know how I'm expected to answer that, Michael, but I'm sorry to hear that. First of all, I just want to say I'm sorry to hear that you're going through a midlife crisis. And also kind of want to congratulate you, man, too, because we all go through it. Like I've had multiple midlife crises. I probably go through them quite a bit where I just stop and reevaluate my life. And those are important because you got to really ask yourself, is what I'm doing really good? Now, if I don't know why you would want to do pharmacy, like rather than just think of the solution first, you gotta ask yourself, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it all together, right? And what are the aspects of pharmacy that you really want? And is that the real solution for you, Michael? Right? You gotta ask yourself that. Bob says, not a single reason why anyone should be doing pharmacy. Do you know anyone who buys apartments? I did. I did know a few people. I don't really talk to them too much, but I know a few people that bought apartments and get cash flow from them as well. What do you think of Asian women? I don't really have an opinion about Asian women. Like, you want to elaborate a little bit more too, as well. But I think they're dope. Like I'm attracted to Asian women, I guess, right? That's like primarily who I date for the most part. Just because of attraction, and also like the culture is just so much, the culture gap is so much easier. Like I'm telling you guys this, like honestly, I think my if the sessions with my therapist would be a lot harder if she wasn't Asian. She just understands and stuff like that too. So I don't know, Asian women are dope. When did you graduate farm school and how long did you work as a farm D? I graduated in 2013, worked until 2000, pretty much 2018, pretty much. That's how long I worked as a farm D. Um, let's see. Michael or Bob says you having a midlife crisis is when you spend 6 to 8 years and graduate with 200K debt for a worthless pharmacy degree and are employed. That is Bob. I will tell you that is a very true perspective. By the way, thank you, Michael. Michael says, haha, at Bob. 4-day fourplex apartments might be better for most investors. You can use traditional mortgage with a lower down payment. It's called house hacking, and they cover this on Bigger Pockets. Thank you for the knowledge drop, Alex. You actually, yes, Alex. I forgot when we spoke. I know that you mentioned that you do this as well. Yeah, I have a small emergency fund saved up, but I live with my parents, so my emergency savings are not huge. So with the economy's volatility, I was thinking about build it more or invest. Bob keeping it 100, says Dr. Lee. It's nothing to laugh at. This is real stuff. The government is already projecting -3 growth for pharmacy from 2019 2029, not including all the layoffs due to COVID as well. That's right. Yeah, and I would also say like the BLS is relatively conservative. It's probably a lot worse than it actually is at the moment, but that's just the nature of pharmacy. And if you guys should really consider numbers before diving into something like pharmacy as well. Should Asian hustlers be supporting Trump's policies? I don't know. I'm not super political, but I have no idea, to be honest with you. I'll tell you this one thing about Trump that's very interesting is his stance on China and stuff too. How he's being a lot more strict on China and stuff like that as well. So I know that for a long time the U.S. has been getting like getting like it's just really interesting. So just watching that play out. How do I get a position as a consultant for informatics pharmacy? Been in tech for 11 years. Can't got in pharmacy school. Can't afford it this year. Well, on Ramp TV, one interesting thing that we drop in the podcast or the video that's titled. It's not out yet. It's going to come out later this week. I gotta review it. Is a pharmacy job market saturated? Um, Paul actually mentioned that you don't actually need a PharmD degree to get a informatics job. So I thought that was pretty dope. So very interesting stuff, by the way. Uh, Bob says by the time you graduate in 6 to 8 years, pharmacy will be at -50 job growth. Um, an additional 90K unemployed pharmacists fighting against for the few jobs left. By the way, kind of curious, why do you think it's -50%, Bob? Just kind of curious where you're pulling that number from. Um, Michael Unger or Michael says it's a hysterical laugh. Have been stalking SDN for a year, but still pursuing the career for some reason. Yeah, that's your choice. I would say go hyper niche and figure something out, man. But we talk about it in the next podcast or the next thing as well. What do you think about dropping out pharmacy school for a dropshipping / e-commerce company? It really depends. E-commerce is tough, guys. Like e-commerce is not easy. It's not impossible, but if you have all the resources, you got a good runway. I mean, give it a shot. You can always go back to pharmacy, but give it a shot. Just think about like the people I personally seen do e-commerce successfully had some pretty knowledgeable people behind them, right? Right. You can either pay for mentorship or you can meet these people in real life. But my friend, he launched a successful like ecom business. It's very capital intensive as well. So just keep that in mind. I don't know how much working capital you have, by the way, Bryson. But if you really believe in what you sell and all the numbers make sense in terms of market demand and the volume and your profit margins, it might be worth going. But I would just try to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with holding off with pharmacy, but e-commerce is also very capital intensive as well. So just keep that in mind. All right. Pierre says, "What would you do as a P1 in the current job climate? Afraid to start over, uh, uh, but afraid to be stuck with no opportunities." Um, so as a P1, I mean, if it was okay, I'm not telling you to do this, but if I was a P1 and I still want to do healthcare, but because chances are you probably want to do healthcare, PA is pretty solid at the moment right now. Not to say it's not going to get saturated in the future, who knows, right? But PA is also very competitive too, so something to consider as well. You could consider doing that, Pierre, but we talk about it in like the next video as well. So just telling you that. How are you feeling these days? Says Husky Kims. Honestly, been feeling kind of unmotivated for the most part. Very unmotivated, lethargic. Pretty much all the signs, like when you look up clinical depression, that's pretty much what I'm going through, minus the suicidal ideation and all that sort of stuff. Just really burnt out, and so I'm taking most of the week off, and then I'm going to New York as well. Gonna be going there with a few friends and stuff, and just having a good time. I just need to get a fucking away for a little bit, man. It's like crazy. My life has been really crazy more recently, and it's just like I haven't really taken time to just step the fuck back and breathe, right? So yeah, and I know like I know like these are good problems to have because you know everybody successful has been here where they had crippling like kind of burnout. Like Ramit Sethi talked about it, and I'm going through it right now after my first like one of my first launches and stuff. So just been kind of shit in the bed. I do want to go back to jujitsu. I need to find a school or something just to train. Meanwhile, before I go back to 10 Planet as well. So there's that. Kevin spending money on massages. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm a fucking massage connoisseur and not that like freaking happy ending type of massage, but I love massages, man. There's something about massages that are so therapeutic. I get a lot of cupping and like acupuncture too. So that's something I really enjoy too. Just like taking care of my body in terms of energy and stuff and all that as well. Um, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. That was a good book, I guess, for a beginner. Kind of makes you change the way that you look at things. I'm not sure if I would recommend that as my top five though. I was trying to think about the top five books that I would read if I were like a brand new beginner. That book is really interesting, but yeah, it actually sparks changed me from changed my mindset from a 9 to 5er into a more business mind as well. Bob says drop out ASAP, do nursing or PA. Actually, PA nursing is pretty solid too. Advice people usually give to focus on non-traditional pharmacy isn't going to work because all of the 15,000 students are focusing on that too. And non-traditional pharmacy, by the way, guys, is a very broad term. And what exactly we talk about this in the video, and hate saying this, but the reason why I refer to this video is because we talk about it really in depth, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So, yeah, but you guys will hear all about that, and we ask what exactly is non-traditional pharmacy as well, right? Because you can just be like saying like there's one way to describe things as like not something, right? But then there's this whole gap. I mean, technically, doing something like working at Starbucks is non-traditional, but you're a pharmacist, right? Like if you were a barista or something like that. But that's chances are that's not something that you would want. So we have to be we have to be hyper focused about like what exactly non-traditional pharmacy is. Like you have to assign a term for the job role that you're thinking about or the a name for the job that you're thinking about as well. Because technically what I'm doing right now is non-traditional pharmacy technically, right? If you think about it, right? But what's non-traditional, right? Betty Wanda said, hi Kevin, or hi, just want to say have a great day and your videos rock. Really appreciate the love, Betty. Thank you for that. I have to say, guys, I'm just very grateful for all y'all because you guys really fuck with me and you guys take the time to watch my videos and stuff. So I just want to say, like, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank you guys for just supporting me. And I think I had this recent realization over the last 2 weeks was just like I just want to serve a lot more to my YouTube audience and stuff. So that's why you're seeing you're gonna be seeing a lot of changes and stuff. Because I just want to serve a lot more and just help more people out through my content, both free and paid as well, going in the future. What do you do if your stats aren't good enough for med school? Not interested in PA slash nursing slash comp sci. Just finished a 4-year biochem. So where do I go from here? There's a lot. Well, what I would tell you do is, I'm not sure if I still have this video up, but I would actually take a strength finder, man. So a strength finder is really good. Pay for the highest one. It's like $60. It actually goes into careers that you'd excel really well into based off your thing. I think if you go to was it refugeehustle.com slash do I have this strength? Let's see if I have this up. Refugeehustle.strengthfinder. Do I have a redirect link for it? Yep, I do. So if you go to refugeehustle.com slash strengthfinder, that's the test I'm referring to, and you can purchase it there as well. You'll get the book and you'll get the code. You go online, take the test, upgrade to a highest one, and there's that. So it's one of the best tests I could recommend for you to do in terms of figuring out your vision, what you want to do as well. CC says you might be feeling FOMO, the fear of missing out. Great opportunity will come. Wait for the fat pitch. Stay liquid. Have plenty of cash. That's right. That's right, Alex. What are my other options if I want to stay in healthcare and chemistry slash organic chem? I mean, there's so many different career paths, guys. I can't be the one that tells you like what to do. I mean, like obviously you can look up healthcare careers. You can even consider like maybe if you like chemistry and stuff, you can consider doing a farm sci type of degree. Honestly, I would reconsider farm sci. I don't know too many people that actually graduated with farm sci that actually use their degree. I know a few people that have successfully done that, but there's that. Um, I mean, there's so many options, guys. Like, I can't be the one to tell you. If you had a question about a specific career, maybe I could help answer that or give you some context about what I think. But then again, I'm not probably not an expert in that field, to be honest with you, right? I just know people like, and I'm just fucking friends with a lot of people, guys. So that's the way only thing I can think of as well. Did you move to Boston for good? There's a lot of people leaving California as their lease ends. No, I didn't move to Boston for good. All my I still have my lease there. I just actually paid 3 months of rent over there as well. My rent is like 625 per month, so it's pretty freaking cheap, guys. So yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm gonna go back to California when everything's settled down. I just went for my mom and stuff, basically for the most part. What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know. But that flag is a big plus. Switzerland, Swiss bank accounts, man. You can. I wonder if you can you launder money over to Switzerland, because I know they're like they're pretty airtight about who their clients are in Switzerland as well. Husky Kim says, "Thanks for a great response. Hope you feel better." Thank you, Husky. Really appreciate it. Uh, at Betty Wand, good vibes. At Alex Happy Face. Um, let's see. I think it's a fair time to be a nurse practitioner. Open up a clinic and consider telehealth. By the way, telehealth is freaking huge for roll-ups. That was like one of the number one things we were looking at as well, doing telehealth as well. There's, I mean, especially right now during COVID, like it's pretty solid. Looks like I got a super chat by Husky Kims. Thank you for the super chat from Husky Kims. Have a good day, man. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the love. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Husky, shoot me a email at subscribers at Refugee Hustle. I love to thank you personally as well. FTP says all that. I read Ramit's book and I realized it's pretty much a summary of the common personal finance advice that I found in your YouTube videos. Good for beginners, but less new info for me. Yeah, for the most part, it's really good beginning information. I mean, if you want me to cover like day trading strategies, I could do that, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a considered expert. I would say like my core expertise is probably like digital marketing strategy, right? In terms of business, it's digital marketing strategy and high ticket sales, right? A lot of the personal finance stuff I learned from Ramit actually, and it really works very, very well for majority of people. But obviously, there's a next level type of thing as well. So yes, Ramit's book is solid. Vivek also says biomedical science too. Also, pretty sure there's biomedical sciences, but I don't really know too much about that. AZ says, "Do you see any new cute girls in Switzerland?" Bob says Walmart laid off 40% senior staff. CVS and Walgreens also mass layoffs seems to be happening biannually now. Then permanent hospital RPH furloughs, that's already at -3%. Then at market then add market forces that will play out the more fully in the COVID, or in the 5 years due to COVID, mail order automation, promotion of telehealth, and remote verification. Alex said you missed the flag pun earlier. Probably I would. Probably I did, guys. Like our whoosh. That's something I found out today as well. When a joke goes over your head. Let me review that as well. Ah, that's so funny. I got it because the Switzerland flag is a is a plus sign. It's so funny. All right, guys. Gonna wrap this up. We're at 1 hour. I gotta wake up early. Got unfortunately I didn't block off my calendar for like the first 3 hours, so I got like a few closing calls. But probably gonna veg out. And then tomorrow got three closing calls. Hopefully I close them. If I don't, it's not a big deal. I'm trying to take the whole week off, honestly, and just refresh. And then I just want to say, just appreciate y'all. Watch out for my pharmacy video that I'm planning to drop on Thursday. Assuming that there's no hiccups in the process, I'll let you guys know in the community tab if not already. One thing I am planning to do, guys, is I'm actually planning to create a community for Refugee Hustle and the people here as well. So if you want to stay tuned for it, make sure to subscribe to refugeehustle.com/join. That's where you can sign up for my newsletter because I will be dropping something that will be pretty big. I'm still in the planning phase. I'm trying to develop my product roadmap for the next few months, by the way. So there's gonna be a lot of changes going forward as well. So good changes for you guys. It's gonna be more about like I'm planning that the next content like I'm gonna have more content that's gonna be a lot more valuable for a lot of you guys, especially that want to transition out of pharmacy and stuff like that too. So just try and build that out, and yeah, just want to help as many people as possible as well. Stay blessed. Keep your head up, Kevin. Appreciate it. GG says Alex Johnson. Yeah, appreciate all you guys. Watch out for my videos, and if you got any requested content, make sure to go to refugeehustle.com/survey. It gives me a lot of feedback about what I can do better, what content that you guys want to see as well. So there's a lot of that. All right, appreciate y'all. And there's another content. AW asking if I'm in SF. No, I'm in Boston at the moment. So yeah, appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace.